Adeoti's life had always been a series of trials, but none had prepared him for what was about to unfold. Ever since his early days, he had grown accustomed to hard labor and quiet sacrifice. By the time he was 17, he had let go of the boyhood dreams of attending school with John and Jane, his cousins. He was now fully focused instead on his apprenticeship at the mechanic workshop. The sound of metal tools clanking and the smell of engine oil had become part of his daily existence. One hot afternoon, Adeoti was at the workshop, bent over an old van, repairing its brake pads. As usual, he tried to focus on the task at hand, but something caught his attention. Two older apprentices stood nearby, exchanging whispers and nervous laughter. They were talking about a monstrous king cobra that had been terrorizing the city for weeks. They described the snake as huge, as thick as a man's leg, with glowing red eyes that seemed to hold supernatural powers. The rumors tugged at Adeoti's curiosity, reminding him of his village days when similar stories circulated. The king cobra was more than just an animal. It was said to be a guardian spirit of the forest, protecting the hidden treasures buried deep within the forbidden woods. But Adeoti shook off these thoughts, reminding himself that he had more important things to focus on. As the sun began to set, Adeoti finished his work for the day and prepared to head home. Just as he was about to leave the workshop, he noticed a tall, thin man standing in the shadows near the entrance. The man wore a long, flowing white agbada, and there was something mysterious, almost otherworldly about him. "Are you Adeoti?" the stranger asked in a calm yet commanding voice. Adeoti hesitated, unsure if he should respond, but the stranger's gaze seemed to hold an irresistible pull. "Yes, I'm Adeoti," Adeoti replied cautiously. The man reached into his agbada and produced a small, intricately carved staff. The dark wood of the staff was smooth and polished, with carvings of snakes slithering along its length. Handing it to Adeoti, the stranger spoke cryptically. "You will need this soon." Adeoti stared at the staff in confusion. What for?" he asked, his voice trembling slightly. "You will know when the time comes," the man replied before disappearing into the fading light. Confused and unsettled, Adeoti tucked the staff under his bed when he got home, unsure of its purpose. Days passed, but this eerie encounter stayed with him. Meanwhile, the city was abuzz with fear. The giant king cobra had been sighted again, this time attacking livestock and causing widespread panic. Rumors of its supernatural powers grew, with some even saying it was a curse sent to punish the city. One night, a loud commotion outside jolted Adeoti from his sleep. He rushed to the window and saw his cousin, Jane, standing frozen in the courtyard, her face pale with terror. Just a few feet away from her was the enormous king cobra, its muscular body coiled menacingly, its fiery eyes fixed on Jane. Without thinking, Adeoti grabbed the staff the mysterious stranger had given him and raced outside. The cobra turned its gaze towards Adeoti, its tongue flickering the air as it swept back and forth, poised to strike. James stood paralyzed with fear, unable to move or scream. Adeoti stepped between her and the serpent, his heart pounding in his chest. He had no idea how to use the staff, but he held it out towards the snake, hoping it would somehow protect them. As soon as the cobra's eyes locked onto the staff, it hesitated. Adeoti's hands shook, but the staff seemed to pulse with a strange energy, glowing faintly. The carvings of the snake along its surface appeared to come alive, breathing as if infused with some ancient power. The cobra let out a low hiss, but instead of attacking, it recoiled as though it recognized something in the staff that it feared so much. Summoning all his courage, Adeoti slammed the staff into the ground. A ripple of energy surged through the earth, and the snake jerked backward in pain before slithering away into the darkness. Jane collapsed into Adeoti's arms, trembling and sobbing. "You saved me! You saved me! You saved me!" She whispered, her voice barely audible. Adeoti held her close, still trying to process what had just happened. The story of how Adeoti had saved Jane from the cobra spread quickly. Within hours, the entire city knew about the boy who had tamed the deadly snake. Videos of the encounter surfaced online, and soon Adeoti found himself trending on social media. People marveled at his bravery, while others speculated that he had been chosen by the gods to protect the city. However, that wasn't the end of Adeoti's encounters with the cobra. A few weeks later, while working at the mechanic workshop, the snake returned, this time appearing in the workshop itself. A crowd gathered outside as the massive serpent slithered across the floor, sending apprentices and customers scrambling for safety. But Adeoti didn't run. He grabbed the staff and confronted the snake once more. The cobra seemed to recognize him and the staff. Its eyes glowed, but it didn't attack. It remained still, as if waiting. Adeoti raised the staff, and the same strange energy rippled through the air. This time, the snake didn't flee. It simply lowered its head, tamed by the power of the staff, before slithering back into the shadows. The incident solidified Adeoti's reputation as the snake tamer. And so, media outlets began flocking to the workshop, eager to interview Adeoti. But while the fame was exciting, Adeoti remained humble. He continued his work at the mechanic workshop, his focus still on earning a living for his family. During the weeks following Adeoti's encounters with the cobra, word spread that the staff might possess healing powers. This rumor reached a neighboring town where a young boy named Abu had been bedridden for months, suffering from a mysterious illness that no doctor could cure. Abu's family, desperate for a solution, traveled to the city, hoping that Adeoti's staff could perform a miracle. Though unsure if he could help, Adeoti agreed to visit the boy. When he arrived, he was struck by the sight of Abu, frail, pale, and barely able to move. Adeoti knelt beside the boy's bed and placed the staff in his hands, praying silently. the room filled with a soft glow, and as Adeoti held the staff, a warm surge of energy flowed through it. Slowly, Abu's eyes fluttered open, and color returned to his cheeks. Within hours, he was sitting up, smiling and speaking to his family. News of Abu's miraculous recovery spread like wildfire, further cementing Adeoti's reputation as someone touched by an otherworldly force. As Adeoti's fame grew, so did their attention from outside the city. A foreign company specializing in ethnobiology, a field that studies the relationship between humans and nature, took a keen interest in Adeoti's unique abilities. They had seen the videos of his encounter with a cobra and believed he had a special connection with animals that could benefit their research. The company reached out to Adeoti, offering him a full scholarship to study abroad. They wanted to help him develop his gift even further, studying ancient practices of human-animal connection and the spiritual significance of creatures like the king cobra. Despite his humble beginning and his fear of leaving home, Adeoti knew this was an opportunity he couldn't pass up. After much thought and prayer, he accepted the offer. His family, Buddy, Banke, Jane and John, and the entire city gathered to see him off, proud of the boy who had risen from a poor mechanic apprentice to a globally recognized figure. As Adeoti boarded the airplane to start his new journey, he carried with him the staff that had changed his life, a symbol of courage, mystery, and the power that had propelled him to where he now stood. And thus, Adeoti, the boy who once dreamed of schooling with his cousins, John and Jane, was now embarking on a journey far beyond anything he could have imagined. A journey that would take him across continents into a future filled with endless possibilities. Dear viewers, this concludes Adeoti's tale, a story of bravery, mystery, and the rise of an ordinary boy who was destined for greatness. Thank you, dear viewers, for joining us on this remarkable journey through the story of young Adeoti. This marks the conclusion of the Agony of an 8-year-old series. We hope you've been moved by his trials and triumphs as much as we have. But this is just the beginning. We've got more exciting tales and emotional stories lined up for you. So stay tuned up for next series. In the meantime, we'd love to hear from you in the comments. Which episode touched you the most? What lessons have you drawn from Adeoti's journey? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section. And as always, remember to be an integral part of this great community by subscribing to the channel, liking our videos, and sharing them with your friends and family. Your support means the world to us. Your support means the world to us, and we look forward to bringing you more captivating stories soon. Stay tuned and see you in the next series. Bye for now.